Hello, hello, hello. How is everybody doing? How is everybody feeling? Thank you for tuning in for another Mojo Mondays. Today's episode is going to be more about how lifestyle changes have changed me for the better. For those who may not know, because I am getting a lot of different followers more on YouTube and on Spotify. But for those who don't know, I've been in the training, health and wellness industry for, on and off for about 15 years. I started my own personal health and wellness journey when I was in my early 20s. I am 39. And it all came about just not feeling good. For more than half my life, I've always pretty much been athletic, but there was a moment about 5 years where I wasn't. I wasn't eating right. I wasn't working out, and definitely not working out like how I am now. Way more stress in a toxic relationship, and I had toxic work environment. Just completely opposite of how my life is now. It was completely opposite back at this point in my life. And I had gained over 40 pounds. And for me, that was a lot. I'm 5'9", so I know how to carry the weight. And it wasn't about really carrying the weight. It was more about how the weight was carrying me. It was making me feel way more anxious, way more tired, and fatigue, and way more aches and pains. At this time, again, I wasn't working out, but I was just inflamed. That's what it was. I didn't really quite understand it at that time, but after being in the industry now for over a decade, now I'm understanding, a lot of the things that we go through as far as our medical diagnosis. A lot of it stems from inflammation, stress, inflammation, bad diet, inflammation. A lot of it creates inflammation, and then with inflammation, you are affecting your insides, basically. That's just, and your brain and your organs, all of it. So when I was going through this lifestyle change, I knew that, I had to make these changes for myself. A lot of it at that time wasn't necessarily just working out, eating right. A lot of it was spiritual, but it manifested through me working out and eating right. Because with working out and eating right, you're going to think clearly. You're going to, I can't even describe it to you. It's just something that you have to experience. A lot of the foods, a lot of processed foods, they're toxic, poisonous, not good for us. It creates inflammation, yes, but also the brain fog, all that. Do your research. You probably don't even have to do it. You're probably experiencing these things of what I'm saying. But I say all that to say, me making these lifestyle changes from working out, practicing yoga, and being vegan, which that came a little bit later after my journey. I'll go more into that maybe in a separate video, because I don't want this to be a vegan video. This is to help encourage people. This is not to push anything on anybody, because I don't care what you eat. I don't care what you do with your body. These are things that have helped me for those who may need an extra push or some type of encouragement. That's what this is for. This ain't about you and what you're doing with your life. If it's working for you, great. Anyways, so me practicing yoga, a little bit more specifically, yoga was introduced to me when I was in college. I wasn't a yoga practitioner or yoga teacher at the time, but I was learning to do yoga while I was in school and earning my master's degree in psychology. Yes, your girl has degrees, okay? Degree certificates, all right? And my schedule was all over the place, so I couldn't really do like memberships or anything like that. So I was doing yoga on the TV. You know how they have the on-demand, when they had on-demand, like with Comcast. I don't remember who it was, but it was some yoga person. This was a long time ago, and I would practice yoga in the comfort of my home. And you know, I was practicing that on and off since my earlier 20s. And then I kind of got off of it, and then I got back on. I was going back and forth for a while before I actually became a yoga instructor. And I started practicing a lot more, practicing every day. And I became more serious about it during COVID. You know, when we had the shutdown, I really tried to keep myself as productive as possible. So I went back to school. You know, I had Foxy, of course. Foxy, my dog, she was much smaller then, so I was busy training her. And I wanted to really focus on just bettering myself. So I got back into the yoga roots a little bit deeper, more on a self-love theme, because there were a lot of things, a lot of healing that I needed, and I used that downtime to really connect with self-love in a yoga fashion. Now, to clear things up, because there's a lot of misconceptions about yoga. Just like with anything, whatever you decide to do, whether if it's a workout or if it's yoga, the practice is what you make of it. It's not all these different ideas, all these misconceptions of what is the idea, because whatever we think of something, and it's not even that, someone else came up with that idea in their mind, and then it spread it because it you know, made sense to them. Yoga's not religious. Yoga is a practice that you make your own. Rather if you are focusing on self-love, rather if you're focusing on recovery, physically, mentally, emotionally, rather if you do want to tie it in with your religion or not. There are some yoga practitioners that will tie in their practice with their religion practices, but they're two separate practices. Yoga for me is more of self-love, and it's more of allowing yourself to be present in the present moment. A lot of us don't know how to do that. So when I am teaching yoga to my clients, depending on who they are, I'm gonna go by the vibe of that person and see what I feel they need, and we talk about it because I want to customize it to my client's liking. But most of the time, it is catered about self-love and reclaiming your own independence. You know, and you can be anyone. You can be your mom, you can be someone working from home, you can be a business owner, whatever it is. A lot of my clients tend to be on the busier side, so I like to cater a lot of these programs to where they cater to that individual person. For me, yoga has helped me become more resilient. So think about it. When you're sitting down and you're practicing these different poses, you know, it can get a little uncomfortable, but you are learning resilience with yourself on the mat. When you're learning certain things on the mat, guess what? You take it with you off the mat. You know, with anything is practice. So resilience, which, you need some level of resilience, especially in this kind of world, right? So you really learn resilience with yourself, with the poses on and off the mat. You're going to learn resilience when it comes to certain situations, and that's because you're learning self-awareness and you're learning mindfulness when you're doing yoga. Another thing I've learned, or another benefit, I should say, calmness. Now, I am not the most calm person in the world, but I do know how to tap into it. And tapping into calmness, again, everything is a practice. Yoga allows you to practice that. You want to move with yoga poses from one to the other. You want to give yourself grace. You want to calm and slow things down. And that's one of the perks of yoga. It really helps you slow things down. We have this high-paced society. Everything is all over the world. A lot of people can't function like that 24/7. Some people can, some people can't. But I do believe at some point you need to find your calmness. So it really helps you tap into that. So when you are in high stress environments, or you're around lots of different people, lots of different energies, you know how to tap into that. Number 3, more positivity. Now, we live in this dynamic where there's so much going on. And there are good things going on. There are bad things going on. There's a lot of different stuff going on. But when you allow yourself to really find what you need, a lot of it's from within. A lot of it's from within. And the calmer you are, kind of going back to the calm, the calmer you are, the better decisions you're going to make. Sometimes when we do things, we're in a panic, everything is high stress, and we're not thinking things clearly, not thinking things thoroughly. But when you're calm and you're able to find that positivity, and the thing about it, you're tapping into the calmness, you're tapping into yourself, your inner world, and guess what? That's all you need in that moment. You don't need anything else. All the other stuff that's happening, distractions. So it makes you feel lighter. Even if it's for that moment, your body, your mind needs that. You need to relax. You know how they say you need to take a chill pill? You need to take a chill pill. Have a seat, relax, tune within. Don't be afraid to tune from what's in here. It's a practice. A lot of us are not used to it, but there's always something to be positive about. There's always something to be positive about. Sometimes you need that moment of stillness to really think about it. You know what I mean? All right. Number 4. This is probably one of my favorites. They're all great, but I think being a trainer / athlete, this one's my favorite because it just goes hand in hand. When you practice yoga, or maybe a different type of body modality like Pilates, for instance, all the other stuff that you're doing, weight training, basketball, swimming, running, kickboxing, skating, all the other physical activities, guess what? Yoga is going to complement all of those things. So when let's say you're out, you're punching, you're doing some kickboxing, pow, 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 you might be running, all those different types of physical activities, they're great. They might be a little bit more intense, right? Yoga is more of a work in. It's more intense when it's within, not more of a physical intense, but again, it depends on what kind of poses you're practicing. It depends on what kind of yoga you're practicing, because there's different types of yoga. So what I'm referring to is more so like a yin or a vinyasa when it comes to adding it with other physical activities. You're allowing your muscles to work in a different way. You're stretching and elongating your muscles differently and working them completely in a different manner versus how you would if you were to be kickboxing or lifting weights or walking or swimming or skating or all the other fun stuff, right? I find that it's important to switch it up. Do all the things, switch it up sometimes, and challenge your body in different ways, because your body is meant to move. Your body is meant to move. Oh, you said it. You said it. Your body's meant to move. So move your body and move it in any way. Move it in different ways. Stretch your body, challenge your body, work your body, and let them all complement each other. You know, it's like you're making a health and wellness gumbo, you know, and all the layers, pow, pow, pow. Eating right, you're walking, you're lifting weights, you're stretching or practicing yoga, you're doing Pilates, all of it, they all come together. Again, like a hand in glove, right? Number 5, last one, because this is going on too long. It's going out. Lifestyle choices. Practicing yoga, eating right, you know, which I'll make a separate video for practicing veganism and being plant-based. But anyways, keeping it with the yoga for right now. It encourages you. That's the word I'm looking for. It encourages you to practice throughout the day. The more you practice, the more you're willing to practice, because you're reaping the benefits. For instance, meditating. You might just sit and meditate and be like, you know what, this feels so nice right now. And when I'm teaching different things with my clients, this is things that you take with you outside the sessions. Like, you practice with me, and then you learn about yourself, you learn the different techniques, and then you take it with you and you apply it throughout the day. You might do some pranayama or breathing exercises. You know, you might do that. Especially during the holidays, right? Let's say you're around a bunch of people. Guess what? Sometimes I will disappear. I'll go to the bathroom. I might have to do a breather, you know. You know, you might be around all these different energies. You know, us introverts, we need to charge up. Go to the bathroom, breathe. You know, give yourself 5 minutes or so, if not a little bit less. Sometimes all it takes is 2 minutes. Just sit down, have a moment for yourself meditating. That's yoga. You know, if you're going outside, go for a walk and you're repeating affirmations in your head. That's yoga. Yoga is really just liberating yourself from the things that are not serving you. Yoga is union. You are connecting with yourself. You might be connecting with others, depending on the setting. But it's really about making it what you're making it. You make yoga, and yoga is of what you make it. Yoga, right? Yoga has Y-O and you has Y-O, like a yo-yo. Do. You put yourself into the yoga goes into you. But I say all that to say, you will start implementing different things throughout your life. You know, you might be meditating more, journaling more, having more me time, more time to yourself. You might do some yoga poses after an exercise, after a walk. You know, you really begin to implement what you learn and make it a part of your life. That's the whole idea. So yeah, I just wanted to come on here and share what has changing my lifestyle, more specifically yoga, what has it done for me. I'll probably do a part 2 of this video because I don't want it to be too long, and I'll talk more about me eating plant-based, me being vegan on the second video. So yes, thank you for tuning in. Enjoy yourself, and hopefully this encourages you in some way, gives you some type of idea. And I will see you next time. Or if you're listening to the podcast, I will talk to you next time. Bye.